Hey everybody, it is great to see you here today. So welcome to the Art of Healing with your host, Dr. Judy Jasek of Animal Healing Arts, and myself, Matt Rowe of ParsleyPet. During our show, we are talking about your pet's health, raw feeding, and alternative treatments for cancer, unexplained illnesses, and supporting your pet's natural ability to heal. Welcome, Dr. Judy, to this week's show.
Thanks, Matt. Happy to be here as always.
Yeah, it's just going to be, and we kind of called an audible today for today's show. And we were going to do a show last week on what happens if my dog eats this at Thanksgiving and talk about, the different types of foods that, your dog can actually encounter during a Thanksgiving dinner and how, having individuals over in those moments can be stressful. So what we started to talk about today before the show was the stress of being locked down again in our homes and what this might do to our pets and what this does to your dogs that are just so filled with love, but they, on that side of the tension that is now in our houses. And as Dr. Judy and I were talking about, there's no downtime for us as individuals in our homes, with our pets, with our kids, with just all of our lives that we have. It just seems like there is no reset or there's no release on everything we have. And I think we're expressing this to our pets quite a bit as well. So Dr. Judy, when you look at mental health for not just yourself but for your pet as well, how important do you think that is, to having a healthy, happy dog?
Oh, well, it's huge because stress affects our pets just like it affects us physiologically. If they are stressed and their body is in that fight or flight mode, they aren't going to be able to, to heal as well. I actually, I work with a lot of cancer patients. And I tell people, get some essential oils. I love recommending things like frankincense, these very soothing, grounding essential oils, and say, just, sit with your pet and give them a little massage with the frankincense oil because it helps everybody calm down. The pets love it, and the pet parent takes a break and just takes some deep breaths and can just kind of chill out because there's a lot of worry when your pet is chronically ill, and there's a lot of worry and there's a lot of fear. And I think just taking that downtime can be really, really valuable. And, our pets pick up on our energy and pick up on our moods. And even if your pet has no medical issues, if you're constantly stressed and constantly on, like you're constantly going from one thing to another, like you said, Matt, no downtime. You don't even have that 20 minutes in the car to just listen to the radio on your way home. You can kind of change gears. There just isn't that separation. So I think it takes some new skills to learn to recognize what you need and ask for what you need and, set appropriate boundaries. But I think for pets, it's, take a little extra time with them, so if you're not doing that commute time, maybe you can get out of the house by taking your dog for an extra walk. They're going to love to get out or go someplace different. Maybe throw them in the car and take them, to a different park to walk them, or, do something like that just for some variety. And, get your pet out. Think about, your pet's anxiety. I think pets, they're pack animals, so they like when their people are around, but I think they're also like, my pets are like obsessed with what I'm doing. Like they're always following me. And sometimes I wonder if they'd be happy if I just left for a while so they could take a nap, because they're always following me around. They're like my 8 little appendages, and their little feet following me all the time.
The little clicks of the nails.
Yeah, so I think anything that you can do, and especially now putting the holidays on top of all the other stressors in our lives, anything you can do to release the tension and the stress in your household and between people in the household, I think can have a huge benefit for pets.
Yes. And you talked about this time of just being in the car from when you go to, look at your previous habits that you had prior to COVID and all these lockdowns and everything coming at it. And now, as we step into winter, we are going to go through another. I mean, the waves they're talking about, a wave upon a wave of new diagnosed cases. So it adds that level of fear inside of us that, oh my gosh, I want to make sure my family is safe. I don't want to get sick, and all of these pieces coming into it. But I think that worry starts to get us to not think about what our previous habits were that kept our mental health and the strength that we had. And that's something that we didn't bring home to our pets because, yeah, like you said, pets bring up or absorb our energy. So if we're upset, your pet may show signs of being upset. I know this happens with Leo, my dog, is that if everything's stressed out at home, he kind of goes into his I'm going to go crazy moment, which just increases the stress even more. But as I thought about it more and more, is if I took 30 minutes in the morning to drive to the office, why don't I take that 30 minutes in the morning and go for a walk with Leo?
Mm-hmm.
And take that same time, and instead of using it as, oh, this is great, I can wake up a little bit later, I can do more work or whatever thing is, so since I'm at home I can do I can do more of everything. And if we what would happen if we took that habit time and really went into, let me go take my dog for a walk and give him that downtime alone. And yeah, he's going to get exercise, and he's also going to get away from the potential stress that's in your house. So getting him out and going for him or her out and going for that walk, and then doing it again in the afternoon. Think of that 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive coming home and going for another walk with your pet. And so what other types of signs do you see inside of a pet when you see pets come in? They have ailments or they have something and they have a lot of stress. What kind of things do you see with a dog that might be in stress?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is GI, upset,
Mhm.
diarrhea.
Okay.
I think every person or animal kind of has their weak point in their
Mhm.
body, like the weak link where things
Mhm.
show up first. So if they're stressed or something isn't going right, where is it going to
Right.
show up? I know for me, myself personally, it's my
Mhm.
gut every time. I'll get stomach aches and all that if I'm stressed. And so for pets, you might see, inappetence, they're not wanting to eat or eating too much. I do have some
Mhm.
people come in and say, like, my dog just has this urgent, crazy hunger. And sometimes that's diet, but sometimes they're stress eaters, and
Mhm.
they like to eat when they're stressed or things are not, the way they'd like to see them in their world.
Right.
Um, and itchy skin. I see so many dogs with itchy skin. It's by far the most common thing that I see. And I do feel like there's an anxiety element to that. It's not the whole picture,
Mhm.
but I can tell anymore. Like sometimes just I'll be working with an itchy skin dog and nothing budges it. Nothing. I mean, we try different diets and we try herbs and we try all these different things and
Mhm.
never changes. But then I look at, okay, how's the person reacting to this? And if
Mhm.
the person is really stressed by the dog's itching, or there's conflict in the
Mhm.
household over how the dog should be treated, see
Mhm.
that too. I think that can make the symptoms worse. Again, it's not the only cause, but I
Right.
think it can definitely make the symptoms worse.
And I think you make a great point, is that I don't think many of us really pay attention to our dog's mental health. I mean, we focus a lot, but I mean, they're showing signs, not eating. They are eating too much. I mean, look at us when we get stressed out or when we're upset, we eat. Not all of us, but some of us do. I know I
Hmm.
do. And so really when we're looking at all that, I think the dog just takes a back seat and it's like, look, me first, which is good. And I think we should work on ourselves and our own mental health and really pay attention to where we're feeling good and not feeling good. But on that same side is taking a look at your dog and seeing is how are they getting through these moments? And so you could sit at that point and say, oh my God, you mean you're giving me something else that I have to worry about or think about? And I don't think it should be on that side of worrying or thinking about them, is really getting back to, as you said, their pack animals, their habits, their what you did. If you were gone in the morning, what would it take to go to a coffee shop? Now, granted, we can't really go to a coffee shop, but we can go through drive-through or any other habit change, or taking them for a walk, and really taking this time and this opportunity to really work on just ourselves, and also indirectly, it should help our pets as well get through those moments.
Yeah, I agree. And like you're doing it together. Like it's
Mhm.
not so much something else you do. It's something, you can do with your pet that's going to benefit both of you, because I think for most people, spending time with their pets is stress reducing and very relaxing.
Mhm.
But because our home lives have become more stressful, I think getting out of the house really has some added benefit
Yeah.
for both you and your pet.
Yep. Now, if you're in Minnesota and it's negative 10 degrees, just man, that's really crazy cold. But like we're in Denver today, we're going to get up to 50 degrees today in Denver. So taking that extra time to go outside, put on an extra coat, really go and enjoy that time with your dog. Go play in the park, or play, you're definitely going to be social distancing. You're not going to be around other big groups and other audiences that are there. So this gives you an opportune time to go out and spend that time with your pet and give them that exercise and their love to help them have good mental health as well. And I think along those lines, it will help you start to set up some different habit structures instead of being just stuck in the house all day long with all of these lockdowns.
Yeah.
That
And
would definitely.
even like, I was just thinking, you could, call a neighbor, you see
Mhm.
the people, over the fence or out in your front yard, and just say, hey, do you want to do a play date with our dogs and go to the
Yeah.
park? And you could go with one or two other people and safely social distance or wear
Mhm.
masks if you feel that's appropriate, and let the dogs
Mhm.
play, and you could socialize a little bit and the dogs could play, and
Mhm.
everyone could have a great time. Something else too that is really important, I've seen this a lot, especially lately, I've been seeing it more and more about diet and anxiety. So no, we've talked a lot about diet on
Mhm.
this show,
Yeah.
but if your pet is on a high carb inflammatory type diet, i.e.
Mhm.
any kibble diet pretty much,
Yeah.
those diets tend to perpetuate anxiety, because it spikes the blood sugar. The blood sugar goes
Mhm.
up and down, up and down, up and down, and they're not getting good nutrition. They're not getting nutrition for brain health to begin with. And then they got this blood sugar spiking, going up and down. And this is another time where I hear about dogs just with this urgency for eating, like they're counter surfing. They'll eat anything they can find.
Mhm.
And once we get them on a fresh food diet, a lot of that dietary urgency does tend to subside, and the
Mhm.
anxiety tends to calm down. So
Yeah.
getting your pet on a fresh food diet can also be really huge at reducing its anxiety and improving its health in general.
Mhm. I mean, if you look at us, I mean, just from the human side, exercise does promote, and good eating does promote good mental health because we feel better. We
Mm-hmm.
feel, when I exercise, I feel just just better about my day. I feel like I accomplished something, that I got out, that I did something there, even if it's a run to the park. But, is your dog experiencing the same? If they're on the couch all day and they're laying there and they don't see a change, they see you coming in and out, it's almost as if they may feel like you're ignoring them unintentionally, but you're just like, no, I'm busy. I got a lot going on. I'm working now from home. They don't know that you're working. They just see you,
Yeah.
moving from room to room or being at your desk, at your office or wherever you're at. Um, and they see you just sitting there, and they don't know why you're not interacting with them.
They
And
think it's a perpetual weekend. And why is my person ignoring me?
that's right. It's supposed to be party time all the time. So I think we have that opportunity to have a party time with our dogs and go take them out. And I don't, it's one of those things is that during this time, don't forget about one of your most loving, one of the most important family members that you have with your children and your husband and your wife and everybody that's with you is your dog. This is your dog is a living, breathing, loving energy center inside your home. And we have an opportunity to go play with them and to go show them this affection and sense we're there. So, really, if anything from the show that if you take from the show today is don't forget about your four-legged loved one.
Right. And
And,
another thing,
mhm,
just to mention quick that just came to mind is, think about your dog's breed too, because different breeds have different activity needs. And if you have, say, a herding breed, one of these really intelligent, gotta have a job to do type
yeah,
breeds,
mhm,
then you want to try to keep their minds busy. And it's really important for those dogs to have a more stimulating environment. Some dogs are happier laying around the house than others. I mean,
mhm,
they'll always enjoy to get out, but some dogs really, really need that type
mhm,
of mental stimulation. And, this is something that you could just work basic obedience. There's little
mhm,
things you could set up in your own backyard
yeah,
to a mini agility course, a little jump
mhm,
or something. There's little things you could
yeah,
do even in your own yard to keep these dogs stimulated and feel
mhm,
like they've got a job to do, purpose in life. It's really, really, really important for some of these, highly intelligent kind of more intense dog breeds.
mhm. Now I'm going to give Leo my a Catahoula. I'm not going to give him the intelligent category because he stuck his face through a fence fighting with another dog, and he got bit. And so I can't say so, but he is high energy. So
Yeah.
something we've started to do is we bought just Ziwi Peaks kibble, or it's kibble, Dr. Judy, but it's Ziwi Peaks and it's not refined and it doesn't have
Yeah.
any grains in it. And, it's really just a set product like that. So using a really good raw based food product, what we'll do is we'll go out in the yard while he's watching us and we'll sprinkle deposits of
Ah,
this food all around the yard in the grass, random areas. And then we let him out and it takes him 20 minutes to find all of it.
that's
And
a great
he's
idea.
frantically trying to find where we put all of these treats and food. And if he doesn't find them all, it's not going to make the yard go bad. I mean,
Right.
maybe I'll feed a squirrel or something like that. But really, is on that side is we really started to think about okay, what other games can we give him that would occupy his mind? And for us, it was kind of fun because it got us our creative juices flowing again, and it got us thinking about something a little bit different.
Yeah, right. It's not, I think these times are not about going back to the old normal because I don't think we're going
Mhm.
back there. It's creating
Yeah.
the new normal.
Mhm.
And even though it's frustrating to kind of have your life, not kind of, to have our lives turned upside down
Mhm.
and to have all these changes. But it's like you were just saying, if you look at it like, well, what can I create from this? And what can I do differently that I didn't think of before? We do get locked in our routines and we were in these
Mhm.
routines and what's familiar is comfortable. And
Mhm.
so right now we have a lot of things that are unfamiliar that makes us very uncomfortable, but that also creates a tremendous opportunity to create and see what can we
Yeah.
make, what can we do with this time and
Mhm.
with this opportunity and how we interact with our families and how we interact with our pets and how can we make it even better, how can we come
Yeah.
out on the other side um, even healthier
Mhm.
and in better health. And I think the most important thing is don't watch the news. Seriously, like just
Yes.
don't be informed, but
Right.
don't obsess over the negativity
Mhm.
because that will create so much anxiety and tension in your household. So turn the TV off and go take your dog for a walk. You can even
Yeah.
you can even walk your dog at night. Even if it's
Mhm.
dark because it gets dark early now.
Mhm.
You know, most neighborhoods have street lamps and stuff. You can still
Right.
go out. That's not an excuse. If you're thinking,
Yeah,
oh, well, I can't walk my dog after 5 o'clock. Yeah, you can.
you
You
can.
can. You can.
Yeah.
Wear a
And
headlamp if you have to.
and depending on how big your dog is the number one protector you have in your home.
Yeah,
And your dog is going to keep you safe and
right.
all of that type of stuff. So thank you, Dr. Judy, for the show today and taking a step away from food a little bit and talking about our mental health, because this is, I think, the cornerstone of how we maintain our health as individuals for ourselves, but also for our pets. Because stress is a big indicator of disease and other things
Mhm.
that other ailments that are unexplained in our
Right.
lives.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. And for anybody that wants to have a great conversation with you about their pet and any questions they may have about their pet's mental health or their well-being, or if their pet isn't feeling good, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, my website is ahavet.com. It's
Mhm.
Animal Healing Arts is the name of my practice. Our email is info@ahavet.com, and our phone number is 720-515-2421.
And that's awesome. And if you're on Facebook, and as you're on Facebook right now, if you look down, you'll actually see the URL. So definitely just go ahead and click on that and book an appointment with Dr. Judy. It's so very worth it. And you can always reach out to us at ParsleyPet.com, and we'll do nutritional testing for your dog and really determine if you're feeding your dog the right diet for them to maintain ultimate health and happiness for everything that they're doing. So thank you again, and we will see all you guys next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, we'll see you later.